Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, the T on NPD and relationships. Hello everyone. To all of my new subscribers and new family members, hello and welcome. And of course to my tribe and family at large, listen y'all, welcome back. Thank you all so much for coming back and watching another video. Of course y'all know I love to always mention Thursday night live streams. Listen, this is where we go from healing to wholeness to boldness. You don't want to miss the Thursday night live stream. If you haven't had an opportunity to get in on that Thursday night live stream, I want to tell you, listen, set your calendars, put a notification in your phone, whatever you have to do to make sure you make the Thursday night live stream. This is where we go to the meat of the matter. Okay. We get down and into the nitty gritty of healing and wholeness on the Thursday night live streams. And it's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And y'all know, and I'd love to see you there. Y'all know every time we drop a video on the channel, the goal of the day is 2.1K plus. Y'all know if you rocks with your girl, listen, I'm raspy this morning. Sinuses is cutting up a little bit. I'm not going to sing for y'all this morning, but I want to know you're rocking with your girl, okay? And hit that like button. You know I have to do a rock with your girl check, okay? All right, y'all, let's jump into the topic of this video. I want to talk about the narcissist not hoovering because of shame. Y'all, this is a real different situation, okay? And I want to show you, or I want to give you some insight on how this actually happens. Okay. Because some people are like, oh, the narcissist did not hoover me, or it's been a while since I heard from them. So there are instances, and I'm going to, break that down in this video. There are instances when the narcissist is not hoovering. And it's not because they necessarily have a new supply that they're working up on, although we know that they do have supplies around to, help them get through from one grade A supply to the next, or one supply to the next. But when you have shamed them, this is a whole different type of situation that you will see with a narcissist, because you have to understand shame is their kryptonite. Okay. That is the thing that they're constantly running from. So there are situations that can be presented in the addictionship with the narcissist that, during that discard or right after the discard, that will cause the narcissist a tremendous amount of shame. And for this reason, you may not hear from the narcissist, not because they're not watching or lurking. You know what I'm saying? Not because of that, but because they have been shamed to the point where they feel like if they tried to come back, that it would do more damage to them, and they won't be able to gather up the courage or, the strength to say anything to you unless they are able to come up on another grade A supply like you probably were. You know what I'm saying? And that person encourages them, validates them, gets their ego back to a place where they are feeling themselves again. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling myself. You know how to do it? Yeah, that part. So here's the deal. When when a narcissist basically has, when they're not hoovering because of shame, this is probably what happened. And I'm going to identify some situations, and this is why you're not hearing from them. Usually if they're not hoovering because they're ashamed of themselves, what you probably did was some of y'all went right on out there. That narcissist made you, you flipped the script on them. Basically at the devalue and discard, that narcissist got the cutting up, and you cut up right along with them. Okay. And not only did you cut up right along with them, but you went on ahead and exposed their mess to the people around you. And not only did you expose the mess, but you came with receipts. Okay. Yeah. That right there, when you come with receipts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the other people will still remain on the narcissist side. What's undeniable is that you exposed their trash and you came with receipts. So the narcissist, when you do something like that, that's something that they're not expecting. Okay. That's something that they would have never dreamed that you would have done to them. Now, they will do stuff like that to you, but they wouldn't have ever thought that you would ever do anything like that to them. So because you expose them and their mess to people around them, because remember, their image is very important. Their image, they will protect that image with everything that they have. At that point, a narcissist is ashamed. Okay. They're not going to come back and hoover you for a long time after that. If they, even if they come back at all, because there are instances where you can shame them to a point where they just write you off. Okay. They just like, that right there is just that's on the never again list. Okay. Also too, that's one of the main things that you do, that you could do to shame them, and they're not going to come back and hoover you. If they do, it's going to be a long time, and they're going to have a supply that will build their ego back up to give them enough courage to come back. So now there's also the instance of basically during the devalue and the discard stage, you beat the narcissist to the punch. Okay. You basically, now in the first situation, they start cutting up and showing out, and you did the same thing. But in the second one here, you basically, during the devaluation stage, the narcissist is devaluing you. You jump right back in. You jumped in that boat with them and started devaluing them. And not only did you devalue them and told them off about themselves and told them something, but not only that, but you actually decided to go ahead and snatch that power grid and leave them. Okay. And then not only did you leave them, but you left them without a trace. You blocked them on everything. You did all of that. Right. And the way that you discarded them in a way that was really disrespectful. When I say disrespectful, like you would ghost them, or they came home and all of their stuff was gone, or you basically took all of their stuff, threw it out in the trash. I mean, you went in. At that point, if you disrespect that narcissist like that in the devalue and the discard, and then you go ahead and discard them first, that it's going to take them a minute to recover from that. And so what they'll do is they have to sit back and process all of that. Now, I'm not going to tell you that these are instances where they will never come back, but they're not hoovering you, because if you do that to them, that's shameful. Because what happens is when you do something like this, they got to go explain to their camp, even though they've been doing a preemptive smear campaign, they got to go to their camp and try to explain why you're no longer there. So that's a very shameful thing. It's better for them to be able to discard you and tell them that you were crazy and they had to let you go, instead of them having to say, well, she just did this and he just did that. They did it because of, I wouldn't allow them to drive me crazy. That's shameful for a narcissist. So if you did that, it's probably going to be a while before they say something to you. If you left them in a really disrespectful way because they had been disrespecting you, and during that devalue and discard, you were devaluing them at the same time, because what you were doing is you were standing the mirror up in front of that narcissist telling them, listen, I know what you're doing and I know who you are, and I'm not going to let you do this to me. So you were going toe to toe with them. Yeah. You won't see them for a whole long time. And if you do, it's because they probably have another grade A supply that's building that ego back up, that to the point where they don't feel like they're at a complete loss if you reject them, because they have another grade A supply, or another supply that's suitable for that moment. So that's another situation. Now, the other scenario that I wanted to talk about with shaming them, when you shame them, or you basically expose them and tell them in the love bomb stage, or you kind of identify before you get to that devaluation stage, and you basically tell them, listen, I've been watching you and I noticed that you're doing this and you're doing that. So basically you call them out. Okay. You catch them on something and you call them out. At that point, if the narcissist is putting forth their best effort to love bomb you and to tell you all of these things that you want to hear, and when you call them out and tell them, you go ahead and tell them something like, I don't believe all these lies you're telling me. I really do. I've been watching you, and I've listened to things that you have said, and some of this stuff is not adding up. And they're putting forth their best effort. And then you turn around and tell them, no, this is not going to work out. And you leave them. Man, that right there, that's shameful to them. That's very shameful, because what that does is it destroys that ego. That's one of the worst ones. Now, in a situation like that, you may not ever hear from them again. Okay? You may not ever hear from them again. But it's different when a narcissist is not hoovering because of shame. Because that shame would definitely keep them hiding. It will keep them lurking on your social media pages, watching you. And also, too, this is how you also know that they're shameful about what they did, is when they do a Hoover by proxy. Okay, what a Hoover by proxy means is that they're too shameful to Hoover you. So they'll get family members and friends to call you or to check in on you, because they're too afraid that if they try to reach out to you, that you're going to reject them and it's going to send them spiraling downwardly. Yeah. So just know, if you shame them, then you took all the power. That's what you did. You took all the power. You took so much power that these clowns are like, I can't ever, like, if I go back there, I'm gonna need another dose of some grade A supply in order to go back there. So when they're not hoovering because of shame, you've done one of these three things. You know what I'm saying? You have really done something to them to make them really sit back and contemplate saying anything else to you, because their ego and their image is so important to them. All right. So y'all, I wanted to get this out here because I want y'all to understand that, just because they're not hoovering, it doesn't mean that they're all enthralled with a new supply. It could be because you shamed the mess out of them and they can't come back. Not right now. Because you did some really horrible things. You totally got with that narcissist and you disrespected the mess out of them like they were doing to you. You got sick of it. So family, I wanted to put this out here for you guys. I want you all to take really good care of yourselves. All right. Be good to yourselves. And I will see you all on the next video. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top. Shalom, family. Peace.